more to see.
What is up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Future Watch, where we try to break down Web3 in a very simple way. I am joined here with my lovely co-host, D1 and Only, and MetaBeast. My name is Hinano. Thank you for joining us, everyone. And today, guys, we're going to be talking about all things Candy Digital with Shae Biron. And so what is Candy Digital? Well, basically, it's a company that creates digital collectibles like NFTs for fans of sports, music, and entertainment. Basically, the Bat Cows, DC Comics, and Stranger Things. Fans can buy, trade, and share these unique digital items on a secure platform, connecting them closer to their passions. Now, guys, before we get Shae into the studio, let me say hi to my co-host. How are you guys doing today? MetaBeast, feel like it's been ages, man. How have you been?
I know, gosh. How many hours?
How many hours do we have in a day?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Like I told you guys backstage, there's a drop today on Candy 2, just so people all know. I bought 2 Absolute Green Lanterns 2.
Ooh.
Only opened 1, and it was an epic. So I think that's a great start to the day, I guess.
That's actually a really good start, because either you can open an epic or a core, and I got to tell you, when you get a core, well,
yeah, that's what I was kind of expecting, but no, and I don't know if I want to open the other one now after that.
It could be a legendary.
Oh, push your luck.
Dun, dun, dun.
How are you doing, D?
I'm doing good. Like, our day is midway through, so it's just before lunchtime. So yeah, it's been a good morning, very productive, and yeah, I can't wait to talk with Shae and get all the juicy details on all the alpha she's gonna spill for us. Just kidding, just kidding.
I will leave the alpha hunting to D. Okay, guys.
Cool.
So, guys, before we get Shae in, one more thing. We're going to be right back after this commercial break.
Out on the waves where the sun shines bright, there's a kid named Buddy, pure delight. Superboy's the name they call him round. Island vibes, he's never down. Oh, Buddy, Superboy, cruising free. Island winds are calling, wild as can be. With the ocean as his playground, he's the king. Superboy, oh Buddy, hear him sing. Flip-flops on and a grin so wide. Riding waves with the tide.
That's right, everybody. We have right now in beta testing an affiliates program with 4 creators right now. There's going to be more to come with that, but I just kind of wanted to showcase them because that's what we're going to be doing for these affiliates. You'll be hearing more of them throughout our 7 shows that we do on YouTube and X. So I want to give a shout out to our affiliates. We have Delco Dude. We have got Key Comics, Evolved, and Osmond Collect 63. We appreciate you guys for joining us on this journey. And can't wait to collaborate with you guys in the coming future. Guys, speaking of the future, before we get Shae in, anything else you guys want to discuss before we bring her into the studios?
The future is bright.
Is it?
Okay.
Gotta wear shades.
Oh, look at that. MetaBeast coming in with the fire. Let's go. Ladies and gentlemen, Shae Biron from Candy Digital. How are you doing today?
Hi, I am doing great, thank you. Thank you guys for having me. First of all, love the intro music and the video.
Thank you.
You're a pro.
We try. We like to make people feel very, very comfortable and relaxed. You know what I mean? Get the nerves out. But I hear though, Shae, whenever they see that please stand by, they get nervous. So maybe I'm doing the opposite. But yeah, that's cool. That's cool. I'm digging the get up with the future. But before we get started, Shae, how are you doing today? How have you been? How is things going on this week?
Pretty good, thanks. I've been pretty good. This week has been a little busier than usual, if you can believe that, but it's going.
Well, you know what they say. If you're not busy, you're pretty much bored. So at least we're all
Yeah,
busy, to say
Yes.
the least.
totally.
Um, I'm just going to dive right in, Shay, if you don't mind. We're just going to kind of get right into it. Basically, you've been in Candy for a while, and you guys recently had a acquirement with Futureverse. So can you kind of tell us what Candy really does? How does it bring fans closer to their brands that they love so much, like DC Comics or Netflix? And what's the big picture now that you guys have teamed up with Futureverse?
Well, so as you mentioned earlier in the intro, Candy provides digital collectibles with really amazing experiences behind them. Um, and now that we're part of Futureverse, which is a huge, huge deal, not just for us as a company, but for our community, for the Bat Cow holders, for DC and MLB communities, and for our platform itself, it's really opening up a ton of new possibilities. It really unlocks a whole new ecosystem and lets us level up what we can offer, both in terms of tech and the kinds of like fun experiences that we can build together. So very excited.
Nice. So when we talk about experience and so forth like that, um, what are we kind of looking at in terms of what you foresee? And now I'm not trying to ask for alpha. I'm kind of asking for your opinion on what you foresee now that it looks like, because the way I look at it, Shay, is Futureverse has the tech. They have the tech stack.
Mhm.
And then you guys have the brands as well as the community to go with that. So that's like a paired made in heaven, in my opinion. But what do you see in terms of the experience that we can possibly look forward to?
Building in the metaverse. One of the things that was revealed just recently is that we now have the 3D files for the Bat Cows. And yeah,
Excited.
I don't know if you guys heard. Did you guys hear?
No. So
Yeah, it was revealed last week. But yes, so now we can actually get ourselves in the metaverse. That
so
is,
that's cool.
yeah.
And so
There's your alpha.
um D, do you guys want to ask her anything before I continue on? You know how I get when I start talking. So I'll go to you, D.
Well, I kind of wanted to do something a little different because I know we had not we, like I'm part of it. I know that Candy got acquired by Futureverse, but I kind of wanted to go a little bit backwards in the kind of the beginning for you, but we can do that after. You know, if you had another question.
Oh no,
move
because
forward.
once I start going, Shay, I just start going. I'm what they call Portuguese over here, Portuguese, where I
Yeah.
talk too much. So I'm gonna let my co kind of like grab the mic right here, and then we'll come back because I want to talk about the open metaverse. I've got a little a little question to ask after that, but I'll hand it over to D. Go ahead.
Yeah. So before we go down that rabbit hole, I
I
just
see
kind of
what you
wanted.
did there, D.
I just kind of wanted to know, Shay, like, because you're the director of marketing, so I kind of wanted to know like your take, like your experience from before, when it was Palm and DC NFTs, when you were part of that, and coming from like the marketing world in real life, like how all that like transitioned for you and how it evolved until today. Can you give us like the backstory on that?
Absolutely. So do you want the backstory of like when I first started in the Web3, that kind of stuff, and bring it back to today? Or
Yeah, if you
okay,
can, yeah, if that's
yeah,
not
sure.
too much. Yeah.
Not at all. So my Web3 journey started, as you all know, when I joined Palm NFT Studio. That was back in July of 2022. And Palm was then acquired by Candy the following year, June of 2023. But before all of that, my previous experience, I had like 15 years of marketing experience just across different industries, but mainly in tech and fintech. So it was kind of like a great match. When uh, I instead of like just jumping into like one market back and take a look at what I wanted to do, where I wanted to be. And because I love tech, and that's why I like sci-fi so much. And I like to call myself, I could say that I'm an early adopter. Web3 just really felt like a natural next direction for me. because of all the things that I'm super interested in. And so I only was looking for roles in Web3. And then I found Palm. It was like the perfect fit. And about 6 weeks into it, the entire marketing team was let go except for me. So I got this crash course in Web3 marketing super, super fast. And ever since then, I've been the sole marketing resource for DC, NFTs. And then, it's been fun. It's been challenging, but it's been honestly one of the funnest things I've ever worked on. So yeah, that's my backstory.
That's exciting. I love that.
Yeah, that's awesome. And like to keep it going, like because the Web3 space is always changing, always evolving, like every single day. If you're sick and in bed and you like miss a day of checking X, you come back 24 hours later, you're like, oh my gosh, so much has happened.
A new
So-
metaverse opened.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah, that's so incredible to hear that. And yeah, I'm really happy that you're here today to talk with us. And I just gotta let you know that there are so many people from the Batcall community in the chats here to support you. So
Yeah.
awesome to see. And thank you, everybody. Passing it on to you, MetaBeast, if you had a question as well.
I don't even know what to ask. I'm very new to it ever since I heard about Futureverse acquiring Candy. I had heard of the Bat Cows. I'd seen them around. I wish I had gotten in a lot sooner. So I'm very, very new to it, but I love it. Used to collect comics. Had a bunch. Now I'm kind of restocking that. So I'm excited to hear what you have to tell us. And you started off fantastic with the 3D digital files becoming available. That's awesome.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to jump in here real quick because I kind of
Yeah.
want to talk about community since we're kind of like on that subject matter. Basically, since you've been with Candy, from that transition, can you kind of give us a memory or maybe a campaign or a project that you worked on with Candy that you're very super proud of, and kind of explain to us why you're proud and why it's so special to you?
Absolutely. So I would say, gosh, there's so many. But I think I would have to say the biggest thing that I'm most proud of would have to be the Batman the Legacy Cal comic book. So
Cool.
storytelling is a really big part of how we build meaningful engagement and meaningful experiences at Candy, especially in Web3. This is what Web3 is about. It's what gives each digital collectible a deeper purpose. And the Batcal collection is by far the best example of that. With Batcals, it's not just about owning a piece of the Batman universe, it's about being a part of it. So in June of 2022, we launched Batman the Legacy Cal. It's an original 3-part comic series developed in collaboration with DC artists and writers and editors. And it was shaped entirely by Batcal community through token-gated voting. I'm sure you guys got a chance to submit your votes because you've been part of the community for, since the beginning. So it was really exciting to get to see the end result at the end of the week of all of the votes that came in. Sometimes we had kind of hoped for a certain direction, or we kind of anticipated a certain way, and then voters surprised us and went the opposite direction. So it was really fun to be there live in real time, seeing everything happen, seeing the story take shape. And like the things that you guys got to vote on, they weren't just like surface level stuff. It was like, the tone, the setting of the storyline and the location, character arcs, and like designs and all that good stuff. My favorite votes, I think, were like when you guys got to vote on his nemesis or his sidekick, like the other characters that got to be involved. And then, each issue was, like I said, it was developed in real time. And we tried to release them like 1, 2, and 3 to coincide with major moments, like Batman Day was when we released issue number 2. And what made it really special was that fans, weren't just voting, they were actively helping to create canon. So the choices that made that they made directly shaped how the story unfolded. But like, I think my most favorite part of it was the introduction of a brand new DC supervillain, the Legacy Cal. So I think that was just a huge thing, and I think everybody. This is the cool part about it. I think we started the. I think it kind of happened before AI became really big, so it's almost like we were way ahead of the curve. It was kind of cool to be a part of that and to see that, you know. And I think the beauty of Web3 is that fans don't just participate passively. They literally get to write the story. Just bringing them closer to these characters and to the brands that everyone loves. So I think to me, that's like my most favorite part.
And I think fans, they really want an experience. And so what's good about what you just said, Shae, is not only did you give them an experience, but you made them feel a part of that experience and that storyline as well. And so like we all know here, building communities in Web3 can be tough because there's that retention value you need from that. But the one thing that I do love, and this is what I was talking with Legacy about last week, is the back cow community has been so resilient. I mean, through different changes, whether you guys are merging, to like FUD, all that kind of stuff, right? But like to see you guys like not only continue to strive, but now there's something that you guys accomplished, which is, or I mean us, like all of us in general, but like mainly I want to say you guys, because I have a lot of respect for the back cow community just being so long in longevity. And so because it takes a lot of girth and resilience to build communities in Web3, how do you think this has kind of like changed Candy's culture over there? I mean, because basically a project is only as good as their community, right? And so like how have you guys kind of changed to that culture now that the backhoe communities are still around? They're still here since day one. They're striving. And on top of that, do you have a story that you could tell us that's related to the backhoe community? This is something similar I also asked Legacy.
Gosh, a story. I have to think about that because I have so many. I think one of my favorite parts is really getting to meet people in person. So last year I got to go to San Diego Comic-Con. So I was able to meet like a handful of bat cow holders in person, and that was really fun because it's one thing to be able to, to be on, X Spaces or these live streams and to get to talk to people. But it's another thing to be able to meet them in person and really find out what they're interested in, what they really like about the project, just to get real feedback. It's different when it's in person,
Yeah.
But you were
go ahead.
you were talking about retention and, really keeping them engaged and involved. And I have to say one of the things, like my personal approach to retention and engagement is to make everything fun, to make the experience fun. And I say personal approach is because I apply this to my personal life. I try to gamify everything, even for myself. If I'm like, I can't do something, if I'm like just dragging on something, I create a game for myself, because no matter who you are, how old you are, that's how you're going to motivate someone to do something, is if you make it fun, if you make it interactive, or if you make it memorable. So.
I love that. I really love that. And I can see that you're a winner there if you gamify anything. But I like the fact that you make it meaningful. And that's one thing that we're really big on here, is trying to make this space meaningful and perpetuate this space. Because I think we all see the opportunity here. I look at this space as the new internet. And, I want to be a part of this new internet. All of us do. We're pioneers here. And so it's a really cool thing. Dee, I'm going to go back to you. What else would you like to ask Shae before I start going down the metaverse rabbit hole here?
Sorry, no, you can go ahead right now. Give me a couple minutes.
Got you. All right. We have a producer over there. He's probably trying to direct Dee. So I'm going to go back to my open metaverse question here. And sorry for jumping all over the place, Shae. But basically, Futureverse, it talks about the open metaverse. So specifically for Candy, what does that mean for someone who's never heard of the metaverse before? And how does that fit into the vision of what you guys are doing at the project?
So as far as the metaverse is concerned, it means that we can have our users engage in the metaverse. Like, for example, Readyverse, which is off of Warner Brothers movie Ready Player One. Since it's Warner Brothers, there's a tie right there. All the Batcals want to get in there. We want to get in there. So I think that is the next like big thing that we really all want to see come to life. And as far as so I have to explain, there's the closed metaverse and the open metaverse. Futureverse is developing the open metaverse, which will allow interoperability, being able to bring your asset from one ecosystem to another. So you're not just stuck. Most metaverses are just a single place. And there are very few, I think there are like 3 or 4 others that are platforms that are creating an open metaverse, but Futureverse is the one that's furthest away. Like it's the closest one to getting it completely done. So it's pretty exciting because imagine being able to bring your Batcal to just any environment, within these interconnected. So you're right, Hinano, to call it like the new internet, because it allows you to go from one place to another. It just like when the internet first started, what was it, 20, 30 years ago? I don't know.
I don't want to date my age here. So.
Where it was, you only stayed where you knew. You didn't really know much about where to go next. And that's where we are with this. We're like a new frontier, so it's exciting.
Yeah, we had the Think guys on yesterday, and I really had to think broadly about where this all could go, specifically on the AI side.
Yeah.
And so when we're talking about AI, Shae, Futureverse obviously is powered by an AI experience as well. Could you kind of share an example of how AI might make Candy digital collectibles like Batman or a comic book more interactive? Is that something that you guys are planning to possibly offer in the future, or anything that you could kind of explain with that?
Well, that's something that we're still in the process of working through and trying to strategize and figure out. And of course, we have to work with DC and Warner Brothers to determine the right permissions and all the legal stuff. But as far as bringing any like the Batcals over and with AI, so we will eventually be able to go into think and be able to kind of merge or mold our Batcals and use that opportunity to kind of have more control over it. Does that make sense?
No, it does, yeah. And so and now here comes the fun question. Let's speculate in terms of your wants. Like a good example is, for me, I would love to be sitting in a Batmobile and the Bat computer's talking to me a la Think or something like that, right? Like an experience like that. So as a fan of the fandom, who do you want to see yourself running around as an avatar? Like, I mean, obviously Batman is like a big denominator right here, but like for myself, I would love to run around as like a different character as well. Maybe like a Superman or something of that sort. But for you, Shae, who is your chosen avatar? Is it even a DC character?
For me, it would be Catwoman.
Yes.
Catwoman. Okay.
Yes.
That's cool. I already know D would be Wonder Woman right there. So like,
Ooh,
but
nice.
that's what I'm trying. What's that?
I said nice.
Oh, D, you want to add to anything to this?
No, I would pick Wonder Woman because she's my all-time favorite superhero. She's just so badass. She's beautiful and she's just awesome. So she's like a role model that I could probably never attain to her level, but just hypothetically, I can dream. But yeah, that's cool. So you said Catwoman. Is that like your favorite character?
Yeah, I would say so.
Okay. Nice. Agility.
Which actress did you prefer, though? Was it Anne Hathaway
or Halle Berry?
Oh, got you. Okay, yeah, that was a good movie, actually.
Yeah.
It gets discounted. What'd you say, Metavis?
Michelle Pfeiffer.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
okay. I'm with you.
Classic.
Yeah, that's where I'm at.
Oh, even Pinky, she's like Halle. Yeah, she liked that one too. No, that's cool. Go ahead, Inano.
Yeah, I'm gonna actually pass it to you. I'm trying to look through all my questions here.
Yeah.
We
Well,
have way too many questions for you, Shae.
no, like what I wanted to know too is like what are you like the most excited about in the project now, like not only for yourself or not only for the community but for yourself and the role that you have, like what are you most looking forward to be able to help further the project along?
Um, to be honest, I'm really most excited about Think Protocol. um,
Oh.
yeah, I am because the AI agents that they can learn and adapt and evolve across platforms. So that means that our bat cows, our collectibles can evolve, and I love that aspect of it because it'll make it more unique. It'll make it different from everyone else's. I mean, I know they're all one of ones, but even more so to be able to kind of imprint your own creative ideas onto them. I think that is the totally next level.
Yeah, no, when we had them on yesterday, they were like referring AI to as God. And I kind of understood why they
Mhm.
were doing that. But I also like the fact when we were talking about AI specifically, think that they're trying to also make something meaningful and special. And also maybe we should be respecting AI. I was getting that vibe as well. And I'm on the same boat when it comes to artificial intelligence. I feel like that they are a different entity that's being created and it's been created by us. And so when it comes to limitless thinking of what these things can do, because they were like, maybe today won't be what will be in 6 months. I'm like, well, what do you mean? What will be in 6 months? That's a good question. We don't know.
Yeah.
And so and to kind of like hear that it's kind of endless. Like you can clone yourself, or you could actually maybe have a loved person come, like a loved one come back as a digital form. It's
Mhm.
kind of crazy, freaky, and exciting all at once. And to see this also now paired to like IP, that's just another thing in itself. Like I could just see us running around as a Mighty Morphin Power Ranger, right? Or a Ninja Turtle, or you have a turtle on the side of you, right? And it's talking to you.
Mhm.
There's other projects too where they were trying to interact with AI with toys, and I really feel like that's coming, and that's coming fast. So
Yeah.
what's your opinion on AI, Shae, in terms of like where this tech is going and where it's going for our favorite fandoms?
Well, first of all, I love AI. I use it for everything every single day, not just work, personal things. I mean, it's like I was actually talking to someone yesterday and I was giving him tips on how to use because he uses AI also, but I feel like he needed some tips on how to really optimize it.
Little prompting tips.
Yeah. Yeah. So he was like, "Oh yeah, so and so told me how you use it. It's kind of like your second brain." And I was like, "Yes, exactly. That's exactly it. To me, AI is like my personal assistant. Like if like I've been using ChatGPT before it went public. Like
Yeah.
first, like before it even got the first 10 million, I don't know, it was January of 2023 was when it blew up. Right before that, 2 months before that, November 22, I think, was when I started using it. And I I've trained mine so well because I use it all the time, every single day, that it knows me really, really well. Now I don't even have to use the prompts that I used to use when I first started. I just tell it something and it'll. So I think it really is the most helpful tool. Like it allows me to do the work of 10 people.
Yes. No, I agree. And what's interesting and kind of like pair off on your story, this was I think last week. D, is it last week when my uncle from Tahiti came
Yeah.
over? So
Hmm.
he came over, and what he's trying to do for the Tahitian government is help redesign that airport. I don't know if you've been to that airport, but it's pretty bad. It's literally between a lagoon and the ocean. So if it's high tide, you can't land a plane there, and if it's raining, you can't land a plane there. So it's very interesting. So he's going to try to help. He's tasked to try to like fix that place, but he has not been using AI, and I'm like, why are you not using AI? And so his idea was kind of far fetched, where they wanted to raise the runway. I'm like, well, let's ask the AI, because I also use, I don't use ChatGPT. I actually use XAI instead. So I pay for Super Grok. And even that is insane. And I use the language, the natural language interface, because I prefer that over typing. And like the AI starts speaking Tahitian to me, and I'm like, I never told you Tahitian. You know what I mean? What are you doing? It's like, because like mine as well, right? I've been working with mine for like 3 months. It knows my name. I never really told it my name. It just remembered it, and I'm like, whoa. But it started speaking Tahitian, and it started saying it better than me. And I'm like, where did you learn this? I'm like, well, you asked me to research about the airport. You know what I mean? So, and it knew how to do that. And this is where the story gets interesting. So in cultures here, they design nose flutes or certain instruments, right? And so my uncle was looking for an instrument to use certain tones for healing purposes, because there are certain frequencies that you can use for healing. And so you would think, if you tell this to a regular person, they think, oh, it's far-fetched. You're going to make a magic whistle to heal yourself. But you tell an AI that, and you tell an AI what you want to do, and the AI is like, yes, this can be done using these frequencies. This is how you bore out the holes. And check this out. To dampen the sound, take some coconut fiber and wrap it around these holes. And it blew his mind. And then I told the AI, say this all to him in French. In fact, you know what? Maybe do this. Intermingle between French and English, just to show yourself off. And it did it like crazy. And so like AI really is phenomenal. I use it for everything as well, either for personal as well as work. I think if you're not using it to streamline your operations, then consider using it. So but Metabeast, you've been quiet. You're a big fan of AI. You can kind of let Shae know how we met, but yeah, go for it, man.
So how I met Dee and Hanano was through an AI space for storytelling. As you mentioned, stories are great. I love them too. Run by a guy by the name of Dave, who has a bat cow. But he has AI called Junie, and we created some of the most crazy, messed up, bizarre stories, and just had a whole ton of fun. I mean, it was a great escape from the normal day-to-day grind and stuff. Which we gotta do that again someday. So
yeah, I think we did it for like half a year, and it was fun. It was also kind of paired to a crypto project, so there was like a duality to it, but it was just fun to kind of like interact and to meet people through the AI experience. And so like Bildo's another example. Bildo, that's how we met Bildo from Futureverse, was through AI storytelling. And I think it came to a point where we were so hooked, Shae, that we did it 3 to 4 times a week. I mean, after a while it tapered off, but 3 to 4 times a week for half a year. So
and I know Legacy, and even myself, after hearing about it, you talked about the story that you created with the community. Any chance of that carrying on another go? That would be pretty darn cool.
Yes, it would be cool. I'm hoping for it, but we'll see what happens. We still need to work with DC and WB and see what their take is and whether or not we can continue, because I personally would love to. We still have a longer story to tell. We've got more to add to it. So if we can, I'd love to.
Well, we got to stay tuned for that. And speaking of, using AI to help you, use it as a tool, I think that I agree with you, Shae, that it's a lot of help, especially for like someone like you in your position who, like, so the bat call community has gone through a lot of evolution, a lot of different changes in management and whatnot. So you've been like the face of Candy / the bat call community, so to say. And so I know you wear a lot of many different hats, but a lot of people don't know like all the things that you do, from finding time to go on spaces, to come on live streams, to plan and do what do you call it, Comic Cons, be there in person. That takes a lot of work and planning. and and to also be engaged with the community while working on your marketing. So can you give us, like, everybody, like, shine a light on yourself? Like, we want to, like, how do you do all of that? Like, I know you use AI but to help you, but how do you manage and use all that without, and you still come on, like, on live streams and you're happy and you're not like, oh my gosh, I don't like my job, kind of thing?
Well, I have to say, what fuels my energy the most is I really do love this community. And I love what I get to do. That's why it doesn't feel like work. I go off of very little sleep, but I'm fine. I also, my ADHD and my OCD help me tremendously. So I've got ADHD, OCD, and ChatGPT.
We can all relate.
All the perfect acronyms that one needs in this space.
But yeah, so as far as like all the different hats that I wear, so in addition to like all of the marketing that I do, like I design all the marketing campaigns and the not just the emails and social posts, but like the full strategy. In addition to that, I'm also pretty deep in the data side of things, if you can believe that. It's like a non-math person doing math. So yeah, data analytics. I pull data, like sales data, to analyze what's driving sales and user behavior and which drop mechanics are performing best. So these types of insights really help us inform how we should move forward. You know, what DC3s we should drop in the future, what incentives we should have in place, what are the release strategies, all that kind of stuff. And then I also work really closely with the DC team on a day-to-day planning basis. You know, strategy alignment, product decisions, all that stuff. It's a very collaborative relationship. And I'm often the one bridging the gap between community feedback, platform capabilities, and priorities of DC and WB. So like, while my title is a marketing person, the role really touches way more than just campaigns. Again, I'm involved across the board in how we grow and how we evolve the DC project and the experiences. So, yeah.
Love that. Boss lady.
Yes, boss lady for sure. So, like, I would clap, but I only have one hand available at the moment.
I like that. Huh?
Yeah, good job. But yeah, just to commend you, because that's incredible. Like, especially in Web3, you don't see a lot of well, females that make themselves known and that are involved in projects. So I just gotta say, hats off to you for, doing all of that as a female in this space. So yeah, for sure, boss lady.
Thank you.
I
You know, it's
guys
funny that,
agree.
thanks. It's funny that you say that, because oftentimes I'm in a meeting or I'm in rooms where it's just I'm the only female and the rest are male, but I don't even think about it. I don't realize it. I forget that I'm a woman, I guess. I just like my brain is my person, my personhood. So I don't like, I'm not like, oh, I'm the only woman here. I don't really think of it.
That's cool,
Yeah.
because I wanted to bring that up because I am a big supporter of women being in Web3. You know, like for my wife, for a good example, is like I gotta say, maybe 3 years ago, you probably would have never seen us up here in this space talking in front of a camera. It's not something very natural to us, let alone, you know, hosting a Twitter space that may have like 500 people in the on the bottom or something like that. So this is kind of out of the norm. But what I love is like my wife. This space has like really enhanced different skills that she never knew she had: public speaking, networking, social interaction, and so much more, Shay, to where, like I said, if you met Dee 3 years ago, you would have been like, oh, what a nice girl that you know, works at a communications company and also is a farmer. But yeah, now she's like really kind of putting strides in here. So what is your thoughts on women being in this space? You just said like for you, you know, you don't notice it, but like I like to see women like really trailblazing in this space. You know, there's the co-CEO as well for Futureverse. She's also there, as well as others in this space. But like, how do you feel about all that?
Um, I feel like it's great to see more people in the space, regardless if they're male or female. One of the things that I think is the toughest part about this space is getting it mainstreamed, right? Getting it in front of
Yeah.
everyday regular people. getting, onboarding. There are so many technical aspects to the industry. Sorry, my cat is getting.
We got one. We got one too. Yeah, I'm surprised she's not making a lot of noise. So.
So I feel like, yeah, I love the fact that more and more women are getting to leadership roles. I love that. But I also would love to see just more people in this space. Right now, I feel like it is just I wouldn't want to call early adopters at this point because we've been in the space for a while now, but
Yeah.
there are just not enough regular, like mainstream people in it. And I would love to see that. I'd love to see it grow. And like even like my parents, for example, I've tried to get them in into like investing in crypto. I've tried to get them, and my dad's kind of interested, but I think it might be he's a little nervous. People see all these stories, hear these horror stories of people getting scammed, and so they're scared, they're nervous. That's natural, but I would love to see more and more people in the space.
I'm with you on that. And it goes back to like what I was explaining to you about my uncle about like not
Yeah.
knowing AI. Trying to have a conversation with them about crypto. Oh, that scammy money. That so like, but that's the truth right there. You get those reactions from people when you start talking about this space, or even if you mention the three letters NFT.
Yeah.
So what do you think is the hook, Shae? What do you think would be the right method to try to get people into this space, as in basically your opinion on the matter?
Well, for me, I would say it really depends on the individual that I'm speaking with. So if they are into like if they're into collecting, right? I would talk about the DC3s. I would talk about how awesome it is to be able to own the comic book, to be able to read it, to be able to flip through it, and then to be able to sell it if you want to, or to be able to trade it. I think that, the collector mentality, I think that's what you need to really lean into if the person you're speaking with is a collector. If the person you're speaking with is a person who loves Batman and loves storytelling, well, that's what I'm going to hit on. That's how I'm going to get them to be interested and be involved in the space. So really, again, it depends on who I'm speaking with. Really, the key point is going where they are. I think no matter what it is that I'm talking about with any person, I feel like I was born a marketer because I'm always speaking in commercials. People message me all the time. Why do you sound like a commercial all the time? It's because when I love something, I will not stop talking about it, and I will figure out a way to explain it to somebody in their own words and what interests them and how they can find a connection with it. And I think that in life, that's really what it's all about, is relating to people, connecting with them, and then finding out, hey, if that's what interests them, then that's how you get them in. That's how you get them involved and excited.
I love that reference about you sound like a commercial. When I was at a family dinner, I started like saying grace, and they're like, yo, you're not on your podcast. Turn it down. You don't have to sound like you're in a studio. And I was like, okay, I'm sorry. Because in Hawaii, we have this slang called pigeon, where
Yep.
you talk a little bit different, right? So that's pretty funny. Now going back to trying to bring people in, I feel like people are yearning for experiences
Oh,
in everyday life. I mean, we take trips to go to like maybe places like here for an experience, or like Disneyland. And so I feel like the open metaverse, and I say the open metaverse, is a really good way for them to have the experience, but we have to somehow figure out the hide the wires approach. People are just not very savvy when it comes to wallets. That's where you get the whole scammy thing. And
yes.
now the scams are even like 10 times worse, to a point where like you can't even tell anymore. So
Right.
I think we have to put those safeguards in, and it has to be a hide the wires. As my friend Chris Severs like to say, he calls it the easy button, where they just push a few buttons and boom, you're in that experience. But I think once you kind of have that in place, and the whole thing about NFTs is kind of like sidewinded to the generalization of it's a digital collectible, or something of that sort, or this is your avatar in a game, whatever. I think that is a good way to get people in. My kids, I've always told people like my daughter, she's 11. That type of age group, you don't have to explain digital collectibles to. They don't have to be convinced. They get it. They get it from Roblox. They get it from Minecraft. We literally pay a lot of money in Roblox every month. So the kids that will grow into this open metaverse and ecosystem, they'll be ready for it. And I think that is like the future customers and experience holders. But I mean, for us now, I think a really good thing would be the experiences in general, having to be able to like interact with your bat cowl, or maybe interact with your comic book. Maybe, and this is just me speculating, I don't know, guys, open the comic book and you're in Gotham. That would be badass. But what do you guys think, panel? Go ahead, Metabeast.
I'm sorry. My mind was somewhere else.
He's speechless, Shae. That's a rarity.
I do have a quick question, though.
Yeah.
Have you been in any of the current metaverses out there? Because that's something I pride myself on. I know a lot of them that are out there open that you can at least go in and see. I'm just curious if you've been in any so far.
Yes, I have. So I have both. Well, let me grab this. I have one of the Apple Vision Pros.
Oh, cool.
Nice.
I also have this is where the tech stuff comes in. I also have one of the MetaQuest. So this is the thing when I go into the metaverse, and this is one of my biggest complaints, I guess, is you go in and there are a bunch of little kids in there.
VR chat traumatized me.
Yes. So it's cute and all, but and I'm not like, I have kids, so I'm not anti-kids or anything, but it would be nice to go into a space where there are other adults and people aren't just like randomly saying weird stuff.
Well, I would be happy to invite you into Decentraland at some point. There's events going on quite often. Adults, you don't need the VR equipment because they don't officially totally have that available. It's something being worked on, but if that's kind of my main one. But there's stuff on there. So
I would love to join you.
Awesome.
Yeah, he actually has a separate segment on this show, Shae, called Virtual Destinations, where we cut to a certain scene, and Metabeast takes us on journeys into certain metaverses. And I've never seen Second Life until Metabeast showed us. He took us into Decentraland. It's kind of like where his home is. That's his home metaverse. He's been in the BVverse. I think he tried getting in Readyverse, but he was not able to get in yet, guys. And in other places too, like Crypto Voxels, and I think last night we saw The Man Who Sold the World.
Yep, one of the weirdest. To me, one of the weirdest ones. But
yeah, they call it the Sufferverse. But it was very interesting. Which has been like your favorite metaverse, Shae, to kind of like hang out in right now that's open?
Gosh, I don't know. I can't really say I have a favorite. I've still been exploring and just trying out new places. I just say go in and check it out for a few minutes and then I leave because again, ADHD. I need like something that'll hook me and keep me there. So I would love to check out Decentraland with you.
Because they have big events, and I think that's the same thing. People will come for the big events, like they had Metaverse Fashion Week just recently, but I don't think nobody's figured out the hook to get people to keep coming back afterwards. So.
Well, send me an invite. I will come.
I will do that.
Well, you guys are going to get lost in there. We won't see you for a few days.
My friend Old Guy Barbecue actually has an event tonight too. So.
Oh.
Yeah, Shae calls in sick. She was partying too much with Metabeast and Decentraland.
No, that's cool to connect, and yeah, I'm excited for the Readyverse when we can have access to just go in there and be able to bring in our candy assets and just be able to like play in there and check it out because like how the movie is Ready Player One, I mean, just that movie, we watched it a few times with our daughter, and I'm just like, "Ugh, I wish I was there. Once you get in
Mhm.
there, like you can be part of the story, and that I think that's what's going to be so cool to get more people like just engaged and be part of it. Yeah, it's really exciting. What about you guys? What do you guys think?
I think
I'm
it's
Meta?
gonna.
really excited about it.
Yeah. Sorry,
Oh yeah.
Hinano?
No, go ahead, Metabeast.
No, I just said, oh yeah, and I just actually watched Ready Player One like last night, the night before.
Like for your first time, or you
No,
watched it again?
no, my second. I just
Oh,
for
okay.
whatever reason I had it. I guess going into the metaverse things uh,
Well,
got me excited and think about it and wanted to check it out again. So
Yeah.
yeah, me too. And so I'm a big fan of Back to the Future, and having that DeLorean just in any type of metaverse setting just really gets me excited. Like this is how bad I am. I've got like got a DeLorean right here. I've got another one right here. That's how messed up I am when it comes to certain fandoms. And I'm a big person that loves like vehicles. For the digital collecting side, I like to collect spaceships, Star Trek. I have like I'm this is how bad I am, Shae. I have I don't know if you ever heard of the Eagle Moss Star Trek collection.
No.
Um, so Eagle Moss, they basically had the rights and all the 3D files of every ship that was created by CBS, and they made die-cast models of the ships down to the T of what they look like. And
Mhm.
so I bought up, I think, what do we have, like 89 boxes of those? I have 89 spaceships here, from like Romulan
Something
warbirds
like
to
that.
every Federation ship you can think of. Um, but like the company closed down, but like stuff like that is what I'm really into. Like I don't know if you've ever watched Stargate. I've got like the Destiny
No.
right here, but
Oh,
that's
cool.
how bad I am. Or the BC-32s, the
Mhm.
Tory ships. But anyways, so I would love to like have that interaction or interact, basically have the TNG bridge but from the Enterprise D, and just like
Mhm.
that is my experience right there. That's what I want out of the open metaverse, to be a captain for once on a starship with my crew of AI agents, and we're exploring the universe. That is like
Yeah.
something that I would love to experience. What would be something you would like to experience, Shae?
Traveling to different. So I think what I love about certain spaces is the futuristic, like environment that they put you in, that they design. So I would love to travel and just see different experiences like that, just to see, like, to me, it feels like I'm envisioning what what future homes will look like, you know. So it's fun to just pretend that we're already there, that this is where I live, that this is my house. So I want to. That's the part that gets me excited, is just being able to see different environments.
Sorry, there was a troll I had to get rid of. So,
Oh,
um, what about you, Metabeast? What would be an experience that you would like to do in the open metaverse? I think I got you.
I want something like almost any instance in Ready Player One. I want to experience it like that. That's how I've pictured the metaverse. If it's just meeting somebody or and talking at a virtual uh, coffee shop, that would be cool. Just to
uh,
get started.
Oh yeah,
So
that's a thing. Interesting is like digital food, Shae. What do you think about that? Now, my wife is a big foodie in the house, and so like, but like having digital food just to kind of pretend to hang out with your friends, that's something that she would really be interested in doing. It. Do you see people doing that kind of stuff? Like, cooking digitally, having digital food, having an interaction. I think for me, I would love to like say have a cup of coffee with someone in digital, even though they're not really there, just to have that experience, right?
totally. Yeah. Um, I feel like that would be, you could meet anyone anywhere at any time and just have a conversation. That would be really cool to sit and have coffee. Even if you'd sit and have coffee with someone who is not physically here anymore. Like let's say you could have a cup of coffee with Elvis and
No
ask it,
kidding.
and then the AI could answer based on what it knows about Elvis.
What's nuts is like I think about like my kids, right? It's like and you want to make sure that you're here, right? And obviously we try to stay healthy for that. Like, but like it's good to
Mhm.
like know because like a good example is like, we just had recently we just had our son. So at least now my daughter always will have someone in her life, for better or worse.
Mhm.
But like to have an agent that would be like imprinted maybe on myself or D that have similar traits, maybe not the same, but similar, to where no matter where they go in their life until they get gray and old, they will have this agent with them side by side that they can take with them, and it'll be a representation of their parents,
Yes.
possibly. That's
That's
where we're at, I think.
Yeah, that's immortality right there.
Yes, in more ways than one. And now that gets a little bit crazy, right? Can you actually put all that in a brain, and now you have a humanoid person like Data walking around with your memories? That'd be crazy.
Mhm.
So, what do you think about that, D?
No, I think it's all great, and yeah, it does sound a bit scary when you think about it, like being able to have like a conversation with someone who has already passed. But the way that technology is moving, that's you know in our future. I mean, it's not impossible.
Yeah.
But what I think is really cool is to be able to, yeah, connect. I mean, we're connecting now over the screen, but I don't know, to be able, like what Metabe said, to like meet for coffee. I don't know. I think it's gonna be like so different when you can like fully interact with someone, but they're like on the opposite end of the world, in this space. Yeah, it's like mind blowing when you really think about it. But we never really thought the internet would be where it is today, like, I don't know, 30, 50 years ago. But here we are now. And like our phones, we have our computer, like, on our phones, on this tiny thing you can stick in your back pocket. We never thought we could see that except in, Star Trek. They knew what they were talking about years ago. But yeah, just to see all that, and it's gonna be, coming, I think, faster than we think it is. And I think that's kind of like the scary but exciting part of it for me. I don't know, in
And
my
then
opinion.
to kind of piggyback off of that, what if they can insert your AI agent consciousness into like a physical object, like an actual robot that looks like you? Then you're totally immortal.
I know it's kind of a
Yeah.
crazy thought.
I have a friend, Wilson, who I met in Somnium Space, and that's what he has talked about pretty much since I've met him, is being able to leave a representation of himself. The metaverse land he buys for his descendants, and he wants to have a presence there so that they can come through and chat with him
He's not a
anytime.
soccer ball, is he?
Huh?
Not a
No,
soccer ball.
not that Wilson.
Oh,
Not that
Wilson.
but also, again, I mentioned the coffee shop thing, but I would actually, thinking more on it, you met my dog last night, Jada, that I would love to be able to take her for a walk again someday.
Yeah, he actually showed us a 3D representation of what his dog used to look like. And I felt bad because I kind of told him, shoot your dog, right? Because in that metaverse they give you a gun to shoot things. So, but I didn't know the meaning behind that. And after you showed us the dog, I'm like, I can understand that, because like we're cat people here, and there's a few cats that I miss that I would love to have a representation. And that's what's so cool, if you really think about it, is like you can really have anything and everything, and it really depends on what your mind can think and where the tech's going to be in the next 6 months. And if the tech is already kind of crazy now, can you imagine what it's going to look like in the next 6 months? But I think we're kind of getting out of a tangent here, and I think we're at 1 hour. How you doing on time, Shae?
I'm good.
Perfect.
I
Okay,
know
so I
you
got to
guys have a baby.
go ahead.
I know that you guys have stuff going on with your children, so I'm.
Yeah, no. I think we have like another half hour before we have to go pick up the Miss Punchline, as the community likes to call her. That's her favorite DC character, by the way, is Punchline.
Oh.
So okay, so I got a couple questions for you, and then I was told not to get too personal because we're going to have you back on the channel for the sci-fi talk, but there's a few talk that I would like to get into this. But for now, I'm going to ask you this question. Basically, for someone who's never heard of Web3 or Candy Digital before, What's one reason for anyone outside of this space to check you guys out now that you've done this merger with Futureverse?
Well, one reason, oh gosh, because we have so much more to explore now that we're part of Futureverse. I feel like the floodgates have opened. We can explore, we can do so much. I feel like we're pretty lucky that we got to be part of Futureverse. Not a lot of NFT projects get to be here. And the fact that we get to be at the same table with Futureverse, I think is mind blowing to me. And I think that it's something that's definitely going to level up our project, and it's going to bring us to just whole new worlds and new experiences. And if you're someone who loves adventure, who loves new things, and you're bored of like just regular everyday watching TV or getting on the internet or scrolling TikTok, and you want something new, this is the place to be.
Did you guys just read between the lines there? Because I did. Let's go.
To the
I love that.
moon with the future.
I love that response. And my final suit question for you is: what's your personal dream project for Candy Digital now that you guys have this partnership with Futureverse, the acquirement right there? Is there something that you're looking at where you're trying to lean on the cutting edge side of things, more towards the experience side? I know we also talked about maybe possibly doing another book, but what is a dream project that you want to try to do with Candy now that you guys are with Futureverse?
Well,
Good question.
just continuing to build. Well, okay, building a DC biome. That would be, yeah. I mean, whether it's in the Readyverse or any other, like our own, just Gotham City. Oh, cool. I would love that. But,
Oh gosh,
we
that
still
would
got
be-
a lot of
Started.
things to go through.
yeah, no, for sure. D, any other question you want to ask her before I get a little personal here?
No, a DC biome, that would be so nuts to have that. Oh, and like so many things you can do there. Yeah, looking forward to that when that happens. Soon. Everything is possible. But go ahead, Hinano.
No, you had like a million questions here, and I'm going through it, but you haven't asked Shae any of them.
I have, and I
So-
feel like without asking them, she's actually like answered the question. So I'm like, yeah, I'm just really enjoying the conversation and what each of us has to like say and what we think or what we're looking forward to in the space, in the collaboration with the two companies. And I'm just really excited for whatever happens next. I know the acquisition just recently happened, and so there's a lot of things that people from both sides are wanting, for their collection, for what they put their money in, and what their fandoms are. So I think we just all need to be a little bit more patient because it will eventually come. This is all new for for both sides, as I said earlier. So we just have to be a little bit patient. There's a lot of things that I don't even know about tech wise that I'm sure they're working on, and I don't know how long that takes. Even if you tried to explain it to me, I probably wouldn't even know half of what they're talking about. And so for me personally, I'm just going to be patient and just, keep collecting what I really enjoy, which is more Wonder Woman comics, and the Absolute line. I haven't started reading them, but I've been trying to collect all the different characters, and then once I have the whole lineup, then I'll start reading them because I don't like reading a book and it's like the second part hasn't come out yet because I'm just like, ugh, just stuck in suspense and wanting to know more. And what I really love about DC books, opposed to other like Marvel and stuff, is how dark and raw like DC can get. And I think that's what really gets me, is because they don't. I mean, yes, they're superheroes and they save the day, but like all the in betweens, all the gory and all the the bad times and stuff is more realistic. And so That's what I really enjoy when I read DC books. And I've heard all the absolute Batman, absolute Superman are great stories. I've been hearing that from a lot of people, but I just haven't gotten to read it because I don't have all the books yet. So I will. I will get there.
I'm the
But
same way. I like to binge also. I have a hard time like waiting for the
yeah.
next.
Yeah. So that's my goal. So in the meantime, while I'm waiting for everything to like, take place and be finished, well, you can't really finish because Web3 is always evolving. And so for the next step, I'm just going to be waiting patiently and read my comics while I'm, yeah, just waiting in my virtual cafe.
It's funny Dee says that because I know what she's talking about. So when we first got back into digital collecting, and it was because we started collecting on Vivi first, that kind of got us back into physical collecting. There's like 20 short boxes behind me. But okay, maybe 21. Half of them are hers though. But what we did as a family is we actually would read books once a week when we got back into comic collecting. We don't do it as much anymore because just really busy. But like when we did that, I remember Dee getting frustrated because we tried, because when you don't read books in a while and you try to get back into like a storyline, you don't know when to get back in because it's like, this one story's been going on between different books and different characters. It's kind of hard to jump in. And I remember we jumped back into DC when it was Action Comics 1050, and I believe that's the one where uh Lex Luthor, he does something to the world to where they forget Superman, and if they remember, people have heart attacks. So people forgot who he was, and so that was a good starting point for us to come back. But waiting for 1051 to drop, and then 1052 was kind of cumbersome, and it's like
Mhm.
then we kind of like lost it. And then I remember we waited until all the books dropped, and then we bought all the books, and we never finished the story. And some of the stories are weird where they intermingle like the past, and like for some reason Power Girl was in an Action Comics. It never made sense, but like then we stopped, and then now we have the Absolute series, and I love a retelling of old stories for a new, and I'm really enjoying what they're doing with this. And so now as a collector, I get to collect from the start, Absolute Batman 1 through whatever, Superman 1 through ever, Martian Manhunter, Flash. I am getting them all. And the best part is you guys are offering it now on the physical and digital side, and I can pair it. And so that is the one thing that I love about what's going on with this space and me as a comic collector. Now I'm going to go to you. Are you a comic book collector, or are you more into digital collecting?
I am a comic book collector. I'm trying to find This is my most recent one that I love.
Ooh.
This is the super.
Oh, I got that
Oh
one
my
too.
gosh, Hinano!
Oh, I love that one. Yes.
I know. I
Okay.
hunted this cover down. I love this variant cover. My favorite.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
damn. When I was a kid, I used to collect Spawn. Um, that was
Oh,
my favorite.
Oh, I can't
Spawn.
wait for Aloha Fridays. So did I.
Mhm.
So I used to really get big on Image, and I own
Yes.
Spawn 1 through 21, I believe, and then I stopped. But I have that Savage Dragon,
Oh, nice.
Shadow Hawk, Supreme, all of that stuff. Young Bloods, I collected it all. So, and I enjoyed the stories. But like, did you collect like Savage Dragon when you were growing up?
No, but I love the artwork. That's for
Oh
me.
yes.
What does it for me? It's the artwork.
Very gritty art. What I loved about the Image stories back then, it was very close to home in terms of them making it more real and grounded. Like
Yeah.
Savage Dragon was more of like you get to see time pass through every episode or every book. It's like a month, 3 months passed by. That alien went through a lot of hell through his entire storyline. Or
Mhm.
another one, Shadowhawk. That individual had AIDS, and then so you had to like really understand what a character was going through with AIDS. And not spoilers, but he actually succumbs to the disease throughout the book, right? And so like I really enjoyed the Image lineup. Spawn is another one, so that's
Yeah.
pretty interesting right there. But are you a Supergirl fan with the Supergirl cover?
Not
No.
necessarily. More of just a Superman fan in general.
Okay, got you. Yeah, I'm a big Supergirl fan. One of my favorite books is Superman Batman 8, which is
Mhm.
the reintroduction of modern day Kara. So I really enjoyed that book, and then also I'm a Michael Turner fan. So yeah, stoked on that as well. Here's a question that I asked the Think guys yesterday, and it's a very important question here. Probably the most important question I'm going to ask you today. Star Wars or Star Trek? And so space magic or space tech?
Space magic or space tech? Ooh, that's a tough one. I'll say space tech.
Ooh. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. The Think guys said the same thing yesterday. And so the next question is why?
I don't know why.
That's okay.
Because it can be real.
Exactly. And so so my why for that question, Shae, is
Huh.
and the Think guys pretty much said it yesterday, is Star Trek really did a good job at predicting the future. If you look at iPads and communicators and view screens, we're on a view screen right now. A lot of the old tech that they showed us on TV is now everyday products. So there's that comparable right there. But another thing that I loved about Star Trek was the meaning of hope, the meaning that civilization and worlds could connect. And that's the one thing that we're big on here, Shae, is we're really trying to connect with everybody. We're not a channel here where we like to be locked down to one project, although we like to be everywhere. I mean, whether it's Candy, McFarlane, Vivi, we like to go all over the place. And so that really resonates with us, at least with me, when it comes to Star Trek, because that's what they were doing, right? With the United Federation of Planets, Romulans, Klingons, they were all trying to connect together to perpetuate their space. And that's exactly what we're trying to do here in the Web3 space, is we're all trying to come together, warts and all, and we're trying to perpetuate this space, because this space succeeds, we all succeed. And I'm a big proponent on a rising tide lifts all ships.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I'm really enjoying as far as Candy, I'm really enjoying collecting the books digitally, and then tuning in when I can to Key Comics. Shout out Key Comics, he's got his Whatnot shows, and collecting those physicals to match my digital. So I know Web3 and digital helps with space and stuff, but we here at our house, we like to not have any space left in our house. So we like to match our digital.
What are you trying to say? I don't have comic books laying around here. So
yeah, weird. That just happened to land there.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Who superhero, supervillain, doesn't matter which universe. Who do you think is the most I don't know if I want to say undervalued, but one that you don't see much of that you would love to see more of? For me, like on Marvel, it's Silver Sable. And on DC side, I love Mr. Mxyzptlk.
Oh, there you go. Mxyzptlk. Good question, Meta Beast.
Yeah, that is a good question.
You got her stumped.
Well, sometimes it's hard to think of the ones that aren't out there as much because you don't see them so much too. So I do get that.
Yeah. Wow, that is a really tough one. I'll have to get back to you on that one.
We'll circle back, man. We'll have a right check on that one.
I can only think about the ones that I already love that get enough airtime. So it's hard for me to think of the ones that I don't think get enough. Yeah, I'll have to get back to you.
Fair enough.
Yeah,
Good.
I'm thinking of that as well. No, because I'm concerned about my heroes that I like, but maybe that's why they're called underdogs. What about you, Hinano? While we're thinking about it, do you have a character in mind?
I really don't. That's something I gotta think about as well. But I'm gonna kind of pivot while you guys talk. This is kind of like the lounge hour now, Shae. Essentially, back to sci-fi. Since now we're gonna be talking about sci-fi, and I'm sorry for the 300 people watching. You're gonna have to deal with the sci-fi questions now. Time travel. So, a good example is, what is one of your favorite time travel TV shows out there? And I ask this question because, if you're like a person that really dug deep into the sci-fi of what was out there, there's some really good shows that maybe people have never heard of that really told a really good story from beginning to end in terms of the series scope.
One of my favorites is Dark.
Oh, let's give her a medal, guys. I love
I'm
Dark.
clapping with both hands.
So this is how much I love Dark. I never watched the last episode because I'm saving it.
No, you didn't
I
see
don't want
it.
it to end.
Oh, you just want it to end.
I don't want it to end. I've even rewatched the whole thing again without watching the last. So,
I've never seen it.
oh my
gosh,
god,
you
It's
gotta
a great
see it.
show.
It's so
It's a great
good.
show.
Yeah,
so
Wait,
good.
is it on? Is it a Netflix thing or
Netflix.
what is
on
it?
Netflix.
Netflix, yeah.
Yeah, it's a German. Is it
Yeah.
German or Dutch?
It's
German.
German with
Yeah.
English subtitles. So it's kind of, you really have to pay attention, and this is great for people with ADHD. You have to pay really close attention because the time travel aspect of it, you don't know who's who unless you really gotta, connect the dots.
Yeah.
All the characters like time travel, and you're like, oh, is that so and so from when they were younger? And then you figure
Yeah.
it out.
Everyone is connected some way in that TV
Yes.
show, and when I mean connected, it's very broad and huge in the scope of the connection to where you're gonna be like just a couple times I'm like, huh? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
yeah. And then that third season, they kind of went upside down. I'm like, no. And then all of a sudden, huh? You know what I mean? And then all the way to that last episode, like that last episode was good, and it made me upset because it ended.
That's why I want to watch it.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah. It ended, right? And it was like,
Yep.
and if you may not like the ending, it might be a Lost thing for you. I don't know if you watched Lost, but yeah, like some people didn't like Lost, but like the ending itself was perfect for that for Dark. And I highly suggest anyone that if you've never seen that time travel show, Dark is phenomenal. Phenomenal. And it's like one of those shows where Dee and I were just like scrolling through Netflix, like, we'll try it out. And all of a sudden, episode 1 turns into episode like 9 of the season 1, and it's like 4 a.m. already. It's like, oh, we watched that whole thing. That's how good it is. But another show that I want to mention to you is, have you ever watched 12 Monkeys, the TV series?
No.
No.
That's
Okay.
a great one.
Have you seen the movie though, right?
Yes.
Okay. Completely different from the movie. Just don't even think of the movie and Bruce Willis, and just imagine there's a new universe where 12 Monkeys is invented. And so the guy that did the final season of Picard, Terry Matalas, he created the whole lore of 12 Monkeys, and it's completely different from the movie. The only thing that's the same from the movie is the pilot episode. That is it. Other than that, it is a romp-top journey through time. You get to, and you fall in love with the characters, Shae. Not necessarily they use sci-fi as a trope. They use these characters to really ground you to the show, to where it starts off awesome. It starts off right to the middle where it's still awesome, and then it ends on a perfect ending. Like, I think out of any sci-fi show I've ever seen, it had the perfect ending for that TV series. 12 Monkeys, the TV series. Give it a try.
I will.
Yeah, you're not going to want to watch the last episode. That is one where you're going to not, and it's a 2-hour episode where it's like beautifully done. Like, I don't know, I can honestly say this, like, this is the one series finale that I've watched where it's like, it was so good. Like, that's how good it was.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, where you bring characters that might have died come back, and then you have like really cool soundtrack musics and just really cool like spoilers, things pop up out of nowhere. You're like, huh? Yeah, you'll love it. So
okay, great. Does it air on Netflix?
So I think it's on Hulu.
Okay. I've got Hulu.
Yeah, I believe Hulu, yeah.
Other than the Battlestar Galactica, but I think those are all the sci-fi questions I'm going to ask her, because we're going to probably really geek out on Aloha Friday.
Yeah. I'm so excited for that.
Oh, you're going to have fun. We had Slider on, and he was a big Trekkie. I think 1 hour was dedicated to Trek. So
yeah, that's fun.
If you could bring any sci-fi series or of any type to Candy, what would that be?
Severance.
Ooh, you like Severance too?
No
way. Okay, so is that Helly at the end? Honestly, to me, it's Helly.
No, it's not Helly. I think it was.
I mean, I'm sorry, not Hel. I'm sorry, it's Helena. I'm sorry. Is that Helena at the end? Because we didn't hear the ding from that elevator when she came out.
Right. That, and when she looked at what's her name? What's the wife's name again? Hannah.
Oh, Gemma.
Gemma.
Yeah.
He looked at her at the end. Helly would not do that. That's
and she smirked.
Thing. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I remember when Irving was like, Helly is not cruel. You are. Whatever she said was cruel. And then, so I think that echoes back when you look at that last scene when she looks back at Gemma, like almost like in a haha, I got him kind of look.
Yeah.
And on top of that, sorry, we're going to keep going off on a tangent here. On top of that, remember when Jamie Egan went to talk to Helly privately in her office? We don't know what they talked about or what he did, but maybe he activated that that thing that brings her back to
the contingency.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, so we actually have another show called The Severed Floor where we were covering the entire season 2, and that was a lot of fun. And so like we do a lot of movie reviews. We'd love to have you come on and geek out with us if you ever want to join.
Yes, please.
Yes. All right. Awesome. And then also we're going to review Superman. I think we're going to try to get Legacy to come back on to review that with us as well, because it's the summer of Superman, and I am looking forward to that movie. I'm assuming you are as well. I can't wait. I'm glad the Trunks are back. And in James Gunn we trust. But yeah, we basically have that severed. It was called The Severed Floor mainly for Severance, but then now we're kind of doing other reviews with that channel. So it's an open door policy here. We would love to have you come on, just geek out with us.
I would love to.
Let's go.
This is so cool.
I think we gotta head out soon. I think we'd be here all day to talk with you. So I think we'll leave it for Aloha Friday, and I believe Raven is going to join us. You've met one of our associates. She's our co-producer here. She'll be with us for the Aloha Friday show as well to kind of geek
She's
out.
excited.
Yes.
And is that this Friday?
No. I think it's at the end of the month. And if you want to come back as well, Metabeast, you're welcome to come join us as well too, man.
Thank you.
So, but yeah. Real quick, this is what I like to do at the end of our show whenever we have a guest on, when they have time, is I would like for us to ask us a question here. So it's your time to ask us things.
I didn't think about this part of it.
Bildo had one earlier.
That's it right here. Ask us anything.
Oh, he did?
No, I meant us. I meant us on the panel. Sorry, not the chat.
Oh.
Or did Bildo have a question at the top?
He did. Earlier, he was asking what your new role at Futureverse.
Oh, right here. Here we go.
Oh, my new role. The same thing. Still marketing, but there's also they've added the community component to my title, which is great because I love to work with our community. And I mean, not like I wasn't doing it before, but it's kind of, I guess it's official now.
You're legit.
Congratulations. More claps.
Any chance you'll be jumping in any of the X spaces? Like I know Legacy does them quite often. I think, is it Prez? And yep. Awesome.
That's awesome.
All right.
Yeah. Congratulations to you, Shae.
Thank you.
And thank you once again for your time. But yeah, please ask us anything, whether we answer it or not.
For me to ask? Or for us to look.
Yeah. So basically, this is kind of the part of the program where we let the guests ask us anything on the panel if you have a question you want to ask us.
How did you guys get started with? I love your setup here. Like everything is so professional. I'm like, wow, this is better than any other podcast I've ever done. I feel like you guys are really on it. I'm so impressed.
Well, there's a lot more to come with that, but how we got started, is that something you want me to tell, Dee, or do you want to tell the story?
Yeah, you can tell. I feel like you're such a better storyteller than I am.
All right.
I'm just like middle, beginning, and okay, yeah, and he's like more detailed.
So, a long story short, because I could be here forever. Essentially, we started this podcast 3 years ago. I think we're on 3 years so far now, and the first year we did it was right after DCon 2022. We went and met with a lot of the VV fam, and a lot of these people now have branched out to many communities, and we go back and forth. but we wanted to continue the conversation. Like you were said in the beginning of this interview, you like to meet with people in real life and, those physical events as well. We're the same. And we kind of like to connect with our fans and our fandom. So when that weekend ended, Dee and I were like, we want to continue this conversation. So we're sitting at LAX saying, let's start a podcast. Let's just try it out. Never done it before, right? Let's do it. And yeah, we met with one of our friends that we've been in this space for a while with, and we interviewed her, and it was great. She was a great interviewer, a great guest, but I thought I was terrible. Don't ever watch the first episode. We were called the Real Uncommon Podcast. That was the name that we set up for ourselves. That has been shelved right now. But essentially, the first year we just did pre-records, and I'm a person over here that's very, very what's the word I'm looking for, D?
Perfectionist.
I'm a perfectionist, and so like maybe a half an hour video would take me like 4 days to edit, and then over time it just got worse. But at the time, with it getting worse, I started getting better at my skills, and so I'm a big person that used to listen to scores like Jurassic Park, John Williams, or Hans Zimmer. So I'd always have scores playing in my ear. And so I've always wanted to put scores to things. And so for our first year of doing the podcast, a lot of it had music in the background. We wanted to have a nice, chill vibe. And we did interviews. We interviewed anybody that would come on the channel. I think the first CEO that gave us a chance was Will from Cryptoys. And that was kind of like our first step to branch out of Vivi into other interviews with other people. We've had McFarlane Toys Digital, their Discord mods came on. We've interviewed, CEOs from different companies that do like security. We've had Michael K on. We had Fairside on, David Yu and everybody and all that sort. So that kind of like just spitballed into this now, these live streams. So I think a year after, we decided to do a live stream on my birthday just to try it out. And we got really hooked because we were trying to get our hours for monetization. And I think we streamed for like every other day for like 6 months straight. And then that kind of got unsustainable. And then we ended up tapering off a little bit. And then we started doing the live stream element. And then we wanted to really put our show into a show. We wanted our show to look good. Because if you're going to make a show out here, Shae, you might as well try to look good. It's that whole DeLorean thing, right, over the time machine. If you're going to make a time machine, you might as well make it look good. That's the same thing with these shows. And so it took us 3 years. And so we came up with templates and a process on how to make this show look like a regular show that you might see on TV. We do transitions here. We're very big on music. I also try to release music through AI. And so a lot of that was just from years of doing all these interviews and then finally doing these live streams and incorporating all of our ideas and creativity into this to form what you see now, where we're a media group. We have 4 people behind us. You've met Raven. There's also The Biggest Bro you haven't met yet. And what we're attempting to do here is to basically start a broadcasting service here with TV shows, right? But mainly live streams. And so that's kind of like what we're doing here. We're doing other things too, and we'll announce that later. But that's kind of the short version of how we got started here. I'd say 3 years we've been doing this on YouTube.
Wow. It seems like, you guys have done such a great job. I feel like you've been doing this for like 10 years.
Thank you.
3 years. Wow. So impressive.
Yeah. It's fun. It's fun. And like I said, both Dee and I shouldn't be up here. I'm like in my mid 40s and I shouldn't be talking on a camera. I really should be like, worrying about my pension or something, but,
for 1K.
But like, I see what's going on here. This is the new internet. And, I remember, Shae, when the internet first came out. I remember when email first came out. People were like, what is that? Why do I need an email? I can just go to the post office, right? I can fax you something. And
facts.
Or some facts, right? But now it's like I see it again. I'm like, I saw what happened with the internet, and I see it again now here with Web3, with the open metaverse, with AI. It's all converging in this space with crypto and the blockchain technology, right? It's all here, and I want to be a part of it. We want to be a part of it. And so that's the big mission here at True Media Group, is to help perpetuate this space, lift everyone up with it, while also connecting everyone together in a network. So long story short.
No, great. That's great. Love it.
So
it's been fun, and just like being able to interact and connect with so many people all over the world. at any time of day and night. It's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we're really big in like people. We are people persons. People.
Well, what we
Yeah.
called ourselves, we were the Seinfeld of content creators, because in reality, we really called ourselves the show about nothing. And what I mean that is, all we did before was we turned the camera on and we just went go, and we just started
Mhm.
talking on the camera. We would read things. Whenever you guys, like, I think you guys would do like spaces, we would cover you guys where we would just cover the space, but we didn't really have format. Now we have a format, we have a direction. There's a
Yeah.
workflow over here. There's like everyone's asking like, how do you put a show together? I'm like, well, it's all templated, and it's been like a year of like creating these templates and a process of using certain services in tandem to show you guys what you see on TV. So
That's great.
yeah, it's been fun and very fulfilling. So
Yeah.
but I think we're at the tail end of the conversation, guys. I appreciate everyone for showing up. We have 300 plus people watching right now. And I'm looking forward to Aloha Friday, where we can get a little bit more personal into the geekdom and fandom
Yeah.
of things.
It's gonna be great.
And I think you'll enjoy that show. Here in Hawaii, Shae, there's what we call a one-day holiday every week called Aloha Friday. When you're done at work, you go home and you celebrate the end of the weekend. Specifically on Friday, you go hang out with your friends. You can go out and watch a movie, or you can kick back, fire up the grill and just have a barbecue and talk story. And that's the vibe of that show. And that's what we try to do when you come and visit us on Aloha Friday.
Awesome. I'm excited. I've got tons of stories.
Let's
Yay,
go,
can't wait
guys.
to hear them and just.
It's gonna be a 5-hour show. We're gonna beat Chris Evers. But Shae, can you give maybe final words for the audience? Anything that people can expect to see what's coming with Candy in the future months, and anything else you want to say to our audience?
Absolutely. Well, first of all, I want to thank you guys for having me. This has been so much fun. I've really enjoyed it, and I am so excited for Aloha Friday and for that severed floor, if you're still calling it that.
That's what the show's called. Yeah. Yeah. The crew on that channel really likes the name, so we're gonna keep it. So
love it. Well, I'd love to be on that too, so I'm excited. But as far as anything that's coming up with the future of Candy and Futureverse, we are in the middle of everything. We're doing our migration. We are getting Future Pass implemented as well on all of the Candy accounts. We're working towards getting, into Futureverse, and we will make sure to keep you guys posted every step of the way. The next time that we have a big milestone or any tasks by anyone that needs to be done, we will definitely let you know by email, blog post, social media. I mean, everything and anything that we communicate through, we'll be sure to let you know. But also, I just want to say a huge, huge thank you to everyone who's been part of our journey. But I mean, I don't know how else I can say thank you without a big, huge thank you to BatCal holders. You guys have been the foundation and the rock of our community, of this project. You continue to show up, support each other, support the project. You challenge us to be better, and you remind everyone what real fandom looks like in Web3. This project wouldn't exist without you guys, plain and simple, hands down. I am so excited for everything we're about to build next, and I'm really grateful to get to do it with all of you.
Awesome. That was
Let's
great.
track and go. This has been so awesome, and I'm totally so excited. Yeah.
Me too.
Now you guys got goosebumps going on with me, guys. This has been an awesome show. Thank you everyone for tuning in. MetaBeast, final words before we sign off.
Get your drops today on Candy.
There you go.
Don't miss out. Got Green Lantern. What was the other one? Because I gotta go and get
Justice League. Adam.
League. Let's go. Get those legendaries, guys.
And there's on the MLB side, there's 2 opportunities to win signed autographed baseballs too.
Oh,
and that was free. I don't know if you have to have something to get it free, but they were free for me. So there you go.
Awesome. Who doesn't like free 99, right?
D, close out the show.
Yeah, I just want to say a huge, huge thank you, Shae, for your time and coming on, talking with us, and you know, geek out
Thanks for having me.
and with us. And yeah, also thank you, Metabees, for coming on and sharing the panel with us. And appreciate everyone that's tuned in, watching, whether live now or on the replay, and just being here to support Shae, support Candy, support the Bat Call community, heed the call. And I just want to say, hope everyone has a great day. It's still, daylight for us, so we have more hours in the day to enjoy. But I hope everyone has a great afternoon or evening. And yeah, thank you all for being here and for the support. It's truly appreciated.
Yeah, guys, that
You.
is the show. I appreciate everyone for tuning in. Shae, final words. Go ahead.
Thank you, everyone. Love being here, and I love being able to have this direct connect with the community.
Well, let's go. We have an open door policy here. Anytime you want to come in, you're always welcome. You just let us know. If you hear a subject matter, we'll likely throw the link in the chats for anyone that wants to join us. Shae, this has been awesome. Can't wait to see you on Aloha Friday to continue this conversation. Trust me, I am a big Trekkie geek over here. I can't wait. Guys, this has been Future Watch, our special edition for Wednesday with Shae Biron from Candy Digital. Thank you so much, everyone. Until the next time, we'll take care and aloha.
Bye.
Bye.